Dark Fate's Skynet replacement has been revealed. That is a headline on this Monday's edition of MBE Movie News.
Yes, Stephen, that one is coming in from Cinema Blend, and it is, of course, as you did allude to, the replacement for Skynet has been revealed by the director, Tim Miller himself. Timothy has revealed that it will merely be called Legion, Stephen. It is a similar organisation, a central sort of AI intelligence, that doesn't make sense, intelligence network. And it's called Legion. So what do you make of that, Stephen? Are you excited for it? Are you underwhelmed, overwhelmed? Is there sadness within you that there is no more Skynet?
Well, they need to explain that, John. You're right. I think after the events of Terminator 2, that couldn't exist. They destroyed all the evidence, as far as I was led to believe. Apart from, I think there might have been a crushed arm left, which has never been resolved.
Oh, was that not Dyson? Was that the guy's name? Skynet?
Miles Dyson,
Did he not blow it up?
Well, the one I'm referring to, John, is actually from Arnie in Terminator 2 when he was battling the T-1000, where his arm was actually locked in to that machinery. It crushed it.
Oh yeah, well perhaps that's still...
How bad, obviously the arm was at that point, I don't know. But I'm going off on a tangent.
Well, they had to have utilised something.
Well, I think absolutely. So. I think this is what they're doing. They have to explain what's happened with that timeline after those events. So I get this. Legion reminds me of an episode of Red Dwarf, a really good episode of Red Dwarf. But there has to be something in there. You've got to have that explanation of the network and how it works and how it operates these machines in the future. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, Stephen, I don't really know what to make of this one because, quite frankly, there's a part of me which will always want for Skynet when it comes to Terminator. It's just the traditional antagonist which has rolled onwards through numerous instalments of this great franchise. Some would say a dying franchise now, and I would agree with that. But in the main, I think it's been better than it's been bad for the most part. I like Salvation. I like Terminator 3.
It was okay.
Obviously, 2 and 1 are the great definitive, some would say, action movies of the 80s and the 90s. Genesis I've still not seen, so that's utter dog shit as far as I'm concerned and I'm aware. But look, I digress, Stephen. It's going to be a sad sight not to see Skynet being involved in some vein within the Terminator franchise. But we have this other thing, this other entity, if you like, called the Legion. And first and foremost, it's a shite name. Can't get away from that. It's very nondescript, such a little bit beige, if you like, it's not great. But if the general meat and bones of it works out the same as a futuristic alternative to Skynet, then I suppose it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. As long as it plays its part, it's the antagonist, it sends back this what the hell is it, 5000, I don't know what the hell he's called, Rev 9, I think it is.
Rev 9,
yeah, Rev 9 unit. Then that's really all they have to do at this moment, Steve. I've read through this article at length. It is a very lengthy article, and it revealed a piece of information which I wasn't aware of. Well, there's a couple of information things revealed in there that I wasn't aware of. The fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, his T-800 in this movie will be called Carl. I can't say it, Carl. And the fact that we have got this new entity, Skynet Replacement Legion, and then there will be a trilogy, Stephen, of movies, including Dark Fate. I wasn't aware that we were getting a new trilogy of Terminator movies. That seems a little bit early to be making that call. Yeah, a little bit presumptuous.
So they did the same with Genesis, John, where they were quoting trilogies for that as well. And I think after it bombed, they just obviously didn't bother naturally.
Yeah.
Just on the subject of Genesis, John, I know you've not seen it.
No.
It had such a promising start. I've got to be honest with you. I did like the first maybe 20 minutes of the film, and then it just fell
Was that
away.
when it was going alternate? I've seen the video clips of him coming back and interacting with the original T-800.
That's right. Yeah, the old one fights the younger.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really well done, but it just had the downward spiral after that. But this film, I'm kind of mixed about it. I've got to be honest with you. The first trailer came out, I went, I'm not liking this. I don't like the practical or the special effects in this. They look terrible. Some of it looks unnecessary. Surprised to not see John Connor in there in any sort of form or fashion. This was obviously before Edward Furlong was cast. I'm just talking about the character in general here. Whoever it may have been that they were going to cast, that he wasn't going to be there, or he wasn't going to appear in this trailer. So I was kind of swaying. I don't really know where they're going with this at all. I'm not really liking this new Rev 9 or whatever it's called. It looks a bit...
An amalgamation.
Yeah,
of the 800 and the 1000.
It's very hard to top the T1000 as well. It was such an effective killing machine, and
Very
Robert
hard to
Patrick.
top Robert Patrick.
His performance as well, John. Just the way that his body movements, the way he looked, it was almost like he looked like a cat, if that makes any sense. And his body movements and the way he ran, it just added to the character as well. And that's not even going near the special effects for 1991, which were still hold up today. I've got to be honest. I think there's a few scenes that have not aged that well, but on the whole, it's still pretty impressive stuff.
He did just remaster it though, Cameron, didn't he?
He did, 4K,
yeah. So hopefully that'll be cleaned up, and we may see that in a regular Blu-ray format at some point.
Maybe
a cleaned up version with those
But,
scenes swapped around.
Then we got the news from James Cameron himself that Edward Furlong was going to be back in it, and that kind of raised my hopes again that perhaps this might be a good film to go and see. But I'll go and see it because I'm a big Terminator fan. Had my fingers burnt probably maybe twice in the whole franchise. 1, excellent. 2 was excellent. 3 was okay. It was a bit of a regurgitation of Terminator 2, but
that
it was
jacket
okay.
alone though.
Yeah, and the ending as well was spectacular. Salvation for cinematography was excellent. I thought it was very gritty. I thought Christian Bale was a good John Connor as well. Genesis, as I said, was just a letdown. But I'll see this and then I'll make my mind up.
Stephen, I maintain that Salvation should have continued into an expanded franchise or trilogy. Anton Yelchin was incredible as Kyle Reese, and then you had Sam Worthington, who was the in thing at the time. Wasn't terrible in the movie, but he was never going to be part of any future instalments because he, quite frankly, gave his heart up to save John Connor. Yeah. So I enjoyed that movie. I've enjoyed, as I did say previously there, most of the franchise's instalments, but I've not seen Genesis. I've seen bits of it, but you told me it was shite, so stayed well clear. All in all, Stephen, there's some interesting little things come out of this. As you did say, from that trilogy, you spoke about John Connor. I think it's possible that if he hasn't died and it's not a flashback, we could perhaps see him doing a Luke Skywalker, perhaps, and hopefully better in this universe. Yeah. But he then pops in, perhaps, later on in this trilogy, after maybe being introduced at the end or whatnot. But look, overall, Legion, shite name, but if it just serves the purpose of being this antagonistic, omnipotent, all-seeing, all-hearing organisation which is sending out these nefarious Terminators, then that's really all it has to be at this moment. And I'm going to move on that note, Steve, to another Terminator Dark Fate topic. It's very Terminator Dark Fate heavy today because it's the end thing. It's a month away, and I'm looking forward to it. And this one's all about featurettes, Stephen. There's been 4 character featurettes dropped, very short and succinct, 45-second long little clips. It's about the Rev 8, it's about the T800, obviously Carol, as we did say, Carol, and it's Sarah Connor and Grace. Now, Stephen, this has introduced a couple of interesting little things, most probably noticeable from the Grace one, where it's revealed that she is a super enhanced human. Humans in this futuristic setting where she's came from have stolen and reverse engineered the technology from Legion, and they are able to enhance human beings and send them back, and she's able to go toe-to-toe. That's why she can go and fight the Rev 9 and handle and acquit herself pretty well. So what did you make of these things as a whole though? I thought the Grace one was probably the most illuminating. I think so, John, and we also got a bit more from Arnie's T800 as well. He did, there was a few revealing parts in that clip as well, John, but overall it was just really giving us a sort of brief description of these characters. Obviously we know Sarah Connor and T800, but the Rev 9 was mostly just the clips we already saw. There wasn't much there. I don't think this character's going to have a lot to say in the film, if I'm being honest with you, John. My body is a weapon. Yeah, it was that clip, and it was a very impressive clip as well. Grace, on the other hand, we're getting to know a wee bit more of this character, and you're right, John, it's very interesting. It's very easy for us just to point the finger and go, yeah, this Grace character, Sam Worthington did this in Salvation. You know, he was an enhanced human. I don't think it's the same story they're going to be using here. I think in general, her race of people, I don't think she's only one in the future that's like this. So it is a bit different. I'm surmising, of course, but going back to T800, John, some revealing moments in there on the mindset of this machine is slightly different, apart from the name, of course, Carl. Doesn't look like Carl to me, but what's your take on that, John? Because I think that's probably the most revealing part in this Doesn't sound
featurette.
like a Carol either, Stephen. He sounds like an Austrian. He's speaking like he was back in the 1980s. It's
Karl
very
Heinz.
broad. Yeah, Karl Heinz.
Rummenigge.
Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, yes, the great Bayern Munich president and I think former player as well. What a man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stephen, it's very interesting, that little featurette as well. He reveals one little pearl of wisdom, if you'd like, that he broke his programming to do something. We don't know what it is. He doesn't reveal in any great detail, but just that little knowledge that he reveals that he broke his programming in some way. I think that flies in the face of a previous theory that we had posted on a comment, I think, where it says that he had killed John Connor. And that's why, obviously, Sarah Connor wanted to
I was
kill
starting
him.
to believe that, John.
Yeah, so if he's broken his programming, surely that can't be true, because he'd have been sent back to kill John Connor. I think that was established. Unless he was sent back again by another human, perhaps, I don't know, Kyle Reese or whatever from the future, to save John Connor. He breaks it and then kills him in some way. Maybe it's accidental. Sarah Connor's then get a grudge to bear against him. I don't know, but that was a cool little moment.
Yeah.
And as you did say, Stephen, just again revealing the nature of this character. In fact, he is this sort of he's taking on more human emotions and stuff like that. He's indoctrinating himself in the human ways. Less Terminator than perhaps we've seen before of this character. So that's interesting, this humanised T-800 just ever more. He's spent maybe 30 years in this way of perceiving the world and whatnot. So that's going to be cool to see him tackling this very similar character but distinctly different character as well. As I did allude to, Grace, she's going to be a bio-engineered human. Rev 9, I think you're right, Stephen. I think he's just going to be the atypical antagonist. Not get a huge amount of speaking lines. He's just going to go about hunting the protagonists around, try to do his best to kill them and get in the way, be a thorn in the side.
Yeah.
But Sarah Connor, that was short and sweet. Perhaps the shortest of the four, I think, if not
so,
the T-800 one. But again, that's just showing you she's back. She wasn't involved, I don't think, Linda Hamilton, in any of the other sequels after T2. And she is the thread of connection from T1 and T2.
She had a voice part, John, in Salvation, but
Yeah.
apart from that, she lent her voice to that.
But that'll be the
That
great
was it.
thread of connection visually. Anyway, Stephen, carrying this over, it's fundamental you take her character. If it's taking place after the events of Judgment Day, then you have to take her in. So she'll be back in amongst this franchise, and I think she'll have an important role to play. Obviously, you see that from the trailer. She's saying, I'll be back. And just what James Cameron says, she's not waiting back to these Terminators come after them. She's grabbing the bull by the horns and getting after these Terminators, hunting them down. So it's all very, as I says to you watching it, Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween meets Terminator. That's wiser, embittered, grisly, older version. I mean, she was already grisly and embittered after T1, totally different. But she's going to be even more embittered, and she's going to be even more get up and go and try to kill these Terminators. So all in all, short and sweet little featurettes. Yeah. Just keeping the hype rolling on for this movie. It's a month away, as I did say at the start of this brief little topic, Stephen. And I think they're doing their job, Paramount, I think it is. And just keeping it ticking along nicely. Hopefully it'll be a return to form after Genesis.
Sure will,
hopefully John Connor, Edward Furlong will be back and have a meatier role in future.
It would be a good setup for him, yeah.
It would be, and it would be a good renaissance for his career as well, Stephen, because we've seen that time again with many a fallen actor. But we will move on that note, Stephen, to the final part of the show. It's obviously the rundown of the UK's box office. This is for the weekend of September 27th to 29th, 2019, who would have thought? What's in at number one? Or what is number one, I should say, because it hasn't changed.
It hasn't in the last 3 weeks, John. It's 2.5 million over the weekend for Dowton Abbey, grossing 19.1 million overall. Yes, Stephen, this is obviously the adaptation for cinema of the TV show, which I haven't seen, which I have no intention of seeing. But look, it's doing pretty damn well. It's dominated the box office in the main for the entirety of its brief little stint in the United Kingdom's box office. $135.4 million worldwide. It's something that's transcending the shores of the British Isles, Stephen. Can't get budget information, but you'd have to think with that success or that performance that it's made a profit. And that'll maybe embolden them to go and do perhaps another movie. I don't know. But by all accounts, quite mundane, the topics they're tackling and stuff like that. So, well, that is what it is.
Horses.
Yeah, it does what it says on the
George
tin.
Martin,
But second week, John, it is Astra at number 2. It's grossed another 1.3 million over the weekend, 4.5 million overall.
Yeah, Stephen, this is the James Gray, Brad Pitt sci-fi space odyssey, if you like, epic. I enjoyed it. I wait to see it on its opening weekend. It's grossed, as you did say, £4.5 million. That's pretty decent for what it is. It was polarising for the critics and the audience members, so that could have put people off, but it's doing well, and that's shown in the overall box office performance as well. $111.3 million worldwide. Again, haven't got budget information, but when you've got Hoyte van Hoytema on board, Max Richter doing the score, Brad Pitt in there, Donald Sutherland, the list is endless. That's going to have a decent budget, because you have to pay them, and you have to pay for those effects, which were incredible. So hopefully it's made a profit, because it deserved it for me. Others would disagree.
Yep, but to be fair, John, I mean, as you said, it's been a very Marmite sort of response to the film, so I think it's doing pretty well considering the response. So we'll move on to number 3 this week, and it's third week, John. It's Hustlers. It's grossed another £1 million over the weekend, £5 million overall.
Yeah, Stephen, I've mentioned this just about every single time we've spoken about this movie. It's the Cardi B biopic, I believe. She was a pole dancing hustler, if you like, and then she rose to prominence as a sort of a social media queen or some crap like that, I don't know, reality TV. Okay. Now she's a singer. So yeah, apparently it's excellent. People are raving about it. I've seen it. I'm not going to go and see it because I can't be arsed, to be frank. I've seen better movies, and I'll see better movies in the ensuing months that are left in 2019. But $110 million worldwide, $20 million budget. Fantastic performance. Can't criticise that. Perhaps I'll watch it if it comes on Netflix or something like that.
Coming on at number 4, John, it's It, Chapter 2 in its 4th week. It's grossed £900,000 over the weekend, £17.5 million overall.
Yes, Stephen, this is the Stephen King adaptation, obviously, and Machete and co. It's $436.7 million worldwide. Can't recall the budget, not got any budget information. No. Box Office Mojo are absolutely killing me here. They're destroying me. But look, I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. I've seen it twice. I thought it was fantastic. It was a fitting conclusion. I was whelmed initially. Second viewing, I get a lot more out of it.
Yep.
And I need to go and read that book and see what is in there and what's not now. Maybe that enrich the experience
just
for further viewings.
Just in time for the Blu-ray, John.
Yes.
Yeah, and coming in at number 5 this week, it's Ready or Not. In its first week, it's grossed £700,000 over the weekend, £900,000 overall.
Stephen, this must be a Fox, and originally a Fox release. It says Disney is the studio, but there is no chance in God's green earth Disney created this movie. Not a chance. I went and seen this one. It was mental. It was a sort of mind reacting to the trailer.
Yeah.
It's a neat little horror story. This guy goes and brings his girlfriend back to his house at his family's home, and they've got this strange occultist sort of a game they have to play. They have to kill someone before the strike of, and I think it's midnight, or they all get killed. It was crazy, it was gory as hell, it was funny in bits, surprisingly decent, and I'm glad to see it's doing not too bad. $6 million budget, $48 million gross worldwide. That's pretty damn good indeed.
That's
I
decent,
don't know if it's, well, it says it's Fox Searchlight, so there you go, I've had my question answered. It was Fox, same studio which is doing Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, there
Disney
you go.
will be having apoplectic fits, or whatever the hell you call it.
Coming in at number 6, John, this week, it's in National Theatre Live, Fleabag, and it's 4th week now. It's took a bit of a jump then, and it's 4th week. It's grossed £600,000 over the weekend, £2.9 million overall.
Yeah, I don't know what this is, Stephen, I can't lie. Phoebe Waller-Bridge rings a bell. Was that not the actress who voiced L2, LEE7 or something from Solo?
Yeah, I think it was,
yeah. She's a bit of a comedian. It's National Theatre Live. I think it's one of these things. You go to like a View cinema and you get live experiences of orchestras and whatnot and shows. I think this is one of these things. Well, clearly, as it says National Theatre. It's shown in an impressive amount of theatres, incidentally, 346 for what it is. It's doing okay. I've not got worldwide numbers, so I can't really stretch it out much more than that. I haven't seen it. I've got no intentions of seeing it.
I'm the same, John. But we'll move on to number 7 this week. It's Rambo Last Blood in its 2nd week. It's grossed another £500,000 over the weekend, £2.1 million overall. Yeah,
Stephen, this is another one that obviously polarised critics. Well, didn't polarise the audience. They seem to have enjoyed it for what it was. A good, the middling Rambo film. Violent as hell. Great last half hour. It's not doing well though. $50 million budget. $64.3 million overall. It's floppity for Lionsgate, and hell, not get into them because they always like to copyright claim our videos, even though we are not making any money from this at all. So
we do it for the love of it. But coming in at number 8, just before we go on, John, Rambo Last Blood, it is getting a bit of a mixed review just now, but I think this is probably because of just the world we're living in at the moment.
The violent
film
nature
had been released 10 years ago. It might have did a bit better.
Steve, it wasn't any less violent than the 2006
I think
one, I think it was.
Rambo 4 was more violent,
Yeah.
but that's just my opinion. From what I recall, I've not seen the film, but the violence in that stayed with me. In this one, not so much.
Just the critics getting their knickers in a twist.
And
I seen it with Joker as well.
And I also liked the way they handled the character as well. It was something different. A lot of people complained that it was a bit more jarring from the consistency of the character in the past. Maybe this is what it needed, you know. And I said this last week as well. I don't think Sylvester Stallone should keep making these movies. He's going to have to draw the line at some point. I think Last Blood should be the last one.
It was getting back to the humanity of the character we've seen in the first movie. He became a bit of a meme.
Yeah.
Just this all guns blazing, sort of like all action hero. It's getting back to that more human side, I felt, but that's what it is.
Horses for courses, as you said, John. We'll move on to number 8 this week. It's The Lion King, and it's 11th week. Yeah, there's a film that's not there though, and I'm delighted. I'll run about it in a moment. It's £500,000 over the weekend, £73.8 million overall.
Yeah, it just keeps chugging along, Stephen. 1.641 billion worldwide, $260 million budget. Very, very impressive. It's been out for 11 weeks, nearly 3 months. Ain't got much more to add to it. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done too, John. Dora and the Lost City of Gold is at number 9 this week, in its 7th week. It's grossed £400,000 over the weekend, £5.8 million overall. Stephen,
it's incredible. I'm looking at 3 movies in this week's top 10, and they've all got jumps in performance. I don't know what's going on there. The Lion King's went up 22%, Fleabag's went up 224%, and Dora and the Lost City of Gold went up 32.9%. But that movie you spoke about dropped 60%, so it's all good. But look, that's what it is. It's an adaptation of Dora the Explorer. Broke even worldwide, I'd say. $110 million, $49 million budget. Wasn't a huge promotional push here. No. Can't speak for the United States or whatever. No. Further afield, these more exotic locations, but you'd have to think it's broke even.
Yeah, it's done better than I thought it would, John. But coming in at number 10 and rounding up the box office, it's The Goldfinch, and its first week. We did a trailer reaction for this, didn't we?
Yes.
And it's grossed £300,000 overall.
Yeah, it was at that Ansel, what's that guy's name again? I always forget his name. Ansel Elgort or something like that.
I always struggle with his
name. It's the guy from Baby Driver.
Yes, Ansel Elgort, yeah.
Ansel Elgort, I thought that. I was about to say Egerton though. I always get him and Alden Ehrenreich mixed up. Don't even sound even remotely similar. But it is what it is, Stephen. Yeah, I mean, that's a decent little start. $45 million budget. Worldwide, it's diving though. It's just absolutely dying. $8.2 million.
It's done enough to knock out
yeah, that's good enough for me.
Casino Royale out of the top 10 finally.
Warner Brothers will be crying into their pillars tonight though.
Listen, I'm not having a go at Secret Cinema here. I think it's a great thing, John. But for a film to hang about our box office, the nation's box office, top 10 for that amount of time, says a lot more about the other films.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, it's stuck around longer than many of the blockbusters from the summer, the likes of Godzilla and whatnot. So I think that speaks volumes about people all in this country and their taste in movies. But we'll get into that before, Stephen.
Yes.
On numerous occasions and taste shit, essentially. But Stephen, I'm going to round up the box office on that note, and indeed the show itself, by simply putting the questions to anybody that could perhaps be watching. What did you make of the topics we spoke about previously? The Terminator, Dark Fate, heavy show. What did you make of those featurettes? Have you seen them? What do you make of Legion being a replacement Skynet? What did you make of the box office as well? If you've got anything to say about any of the things we spoke about on today's show, comment below and let us know what your thoughts were. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content, and me and Stephen will be back tomorrow for MBE Heroes.